Okay, here we are at Miracle Valley, Arizona. How you
Hallelujah.
doing, Dwayne?
Great. This is exciting. This is exciting.
This is the home of the A.A. Allen revivals. A.A. Allen once had revival meetings here, healing meetings here,
Training
a
school.
training school, and he had all kinds of dormitories for students.
Miracle Valley Church, seating more than 2,000 persons, is the scene of many miracle revivals. And now, let us go together into the administration building. Let the Spirit and the power of God come on this man. Look at these four legs. My God, my God. In the name of Jesus, I curse this foul cancer. I curse this cancer. In the name of Jesus, I command this cancer die. I command this cancer die. Amen, brother. In the name of Jesus, I command you, give up.
And so the Word of God says that there's a time and a season for everything under the sun. There was a time for A.A. Allen at Miracle Valley, Arizona. And now there's a time today. We can only consider the time concerning the times we are living in today compared to then. And now we want to just take a look inside what remains. We, Dwayne and I, we unite our prayers with the prayers of the saints that went before us.
Yes,
According
Lord.
to Hebrews 11, we are surrounded by a great cloud of
Cloud of
witnesses, the
witnesses.
saints that went before
Hallelujah.
us.
Thank you,
And
Lord.
their prayers are alive and well with us, just as the days
Yes, Lord.
that the prayers were said in this place in Miracle Valley. And so the word has gone out, and the word continues to go out today. Let's hear the words of A.A. Allen back then so we can join the word that was sent out.
All my people, those that will hearken unto my voice, and I will speak unto my people, and I will endue them with power through the Holy Ghost. Yea, I, the Lord, have spoken unto my people, and I will walk among them, and I will speak through them. They shall come from the east, they shall come from the west, from the north and from the south into this place to prepare here to go unto my whitened harvest fields. I will open the windows of heaven, and I will pour out of my power, and I will bless thee, and I will give thee that which thou hast desired.
Many that came before us raised the Christian banner above the lands, and they claimed and they heard things from God. Father Kino, one of the earlier settlers in the 1600s, came to the very place near Miracle Valley and claimed that to be a place of the doves. This is a place that is only 2 miles north of the Mexican-United States border. Father Kino declared this is a place of doves. The name Allen itself is meaning rock.
Yes, Lord.
So we know who the true rock is. Jesus Christ is the rock. And when we build our life on Him, we can be secure. Take a look at the Word of God that was being sent out on the streets as a result of a minister who has the rock is teaching others how to go out and give others the rock and give others the same revival that has come on him.
So that when I go out into the world, I can really speak with authority. In nearby cities and towns, the students go out in companies to hold street meetings in which they sing the songs of the gospel and preach the word of the Lord. They boldly proclaim the good news of miracle restoration revival, and they are ready at any moment to pray for the sick or to deal with a penitent soul.
You see, A. Allen knew the time that he was living in. He knew the times from his own testimony. You see, he had a testimony. He was raised by an alcoholic father and an alcoholic mother who actually, from the time when he was a baby, they wanted to quiet him down. And so they put alcohol in his bottle and fed him as an infant to shut him up. But God had another plan, not to shut this man up, but to speak in boldness. He was saved, and he spoke with boldness. And he went through a personal revival himself. There are many out there that need to go through a personal revival because people have been trying to quiet you down. But it's time to be bold now, like never before, and speak. For the year we're living in is 5780, and the letters, the Hebrew letters, are pointing to the mouth. But it's pointing to the mouth, the Word of God and the prophetic Word of God and the tongues of God, all working together. These three gifts of the mouth are going to send out revival like never before.
During the Restoration Revival at Miracle Valley, many converts requested water baptism. Some of these had been nominal Christians in formal churches. Others were children who had reached the age of decision and had chosen Christ. The sick and afflicted who had received miracles of healing, and now with joy they follow the Lord in baptism, joyously rising to continue their Christian walk in the newness of life. The missionary outreach of the A. Allen Ministry has touched many far-off lands and foreign fields.
You see, I believe the times we're living in are like the times in the book of Acts, chapter 2, where many sat and waited on God. Many of you are sitting there waiting on God for the power of God to come. Jesus promised the power of God. And as they waited, there was about 120 of them in the upper room. They waited, and all of a sudden a wind came through. And all of a sudden there appeared cloven tongues of fire above their head. Now, cloven is interesting. It's a divided flame. Why were there two flames? I'm believing that the two flames of fire are because they spoke right after that. Some spoke in tongues, and others spoke in prophecy. Two types of tongues, all going out with amazing power. And so, if you have not been baptized in tongues, maybe it's time to ask for the power. Maybe good old-fashioned religion isn't working, but I know that miracles, signs, and wonders follow those who are baptized in the filled with the Spirit of God, with the Word of God, the prophecies, and embrace that gift of tongues. You see, the gift of tongues is to build you personally up. The gift of prophecy is to build up the church. Do you need personal building up in your own spirit? Maybe the gift of tongues and praying in tongues in God in your private prayer closet is what you need to fill you up with the Spirit, to pray in a language that only you and God understand. Actually, you don't understand, but God shows you how to pray. It's in Romans 8:26. When we don't know how to pray, the Spirit of God gives us utterances and shows us how to pray.
She is perfectly whole through the miracle power of living faith. And the Lord has proven through the ministry of his man of faith and power that all things are possible to him that believeth.
Well, get his suit ready. I want to see what it looks like in it. That's all right. That's all right. We're going to pray. How many would like to see the power of God fall on this man? Let him free and heal him right now. Do you believe it? Let this body be supported again. Let this stomach receive food. Give this man strength tonight. Let the power of God go through him. Raise him in this spirit, Lord. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Brother, in the name of Jesus, I command you, give up.
Father, we thank you for the Lord Jesus paid a price for every worthy soul. A.A. Allen, many people healed in this facility, and we claim victory for every one of those things. Restore, God, honor to the name of A.A. Allen, signified by this destroyed building, God, that you raise things from the dead.